If you're looking for Magic cards, look no further than Flipside Gaming. They have all the latest Magic singles and product that you need to actually leave the house and battle in Magic the Gathering. And right now, if you would like to save 10% on your orders from Flipside Gaming, use the promo code CGB at checkout. That is promo code CGB. Hello and welcome back to another day in the arena. It's me, it's CGB, and today we're looking at the thing I think I've received more requests for than anything else since the new set dropped, and that is the Gate deck. Yep, so they printed some Gate payoffs and they pushed them pretty hard for Guilds of Ravnica. Cards like Gatebreaker Ram, which is a 2/2 for 3 sheep, and it gets +1/+1 for each gate you control, as long as you control 2 or more gates, Vigilance and Trample. So very often with a gate-filled mana base, this is at least a 3-mana 4/4 with Vigilance and Trample, and it only gets bigger from there. Guild Summit you might remember from the last set. Whenever a gate enters the battlefield, you draw a card, and you can tap untapped gates to draw a card when you cast Guild Summit, or when it enters the battlefield rather. Gates Ablaze deals X damage to each creature, where X is the number of gates you control. And a few more big payoffs. Gate Colossus, 8 mana, 8/8, costs 1 less to cast for each gate you control. When it can't be blocked by creatures with power 2 or less. A lot of text here. Whenever a gate enters the battlefield, you may put it from your graveyard to the top of your library. And then Archway Angel. When Archway Angel enters the battlefield, 2 life for each gate you control. Take that, red deck. So, along with Circuitous Route, which can search for gates, you've got quite the core of cards built around the gates mechanic. Then, when you look at that, you need a few things. You need to get your key cards and try to put more gates into play. That's where Growth Spiral and Shimmer of Possibility come in. And you need some things to do with big mana. That's where Expansion Explosion and Hydroid Crassus come in, at least for me. Kind of trying both of these. This deck I got the inspiration for from an article on Star City Games by Sam Black. Sam is an excellent deck builder, a many times Platinum Pro World Championship competitor, and all kinds of ways professional Magic player. And he writes on this premium side of Star City Games. I do not get paid for saying that, but I would still recommend a premium membership because he writes fantastic articles along with a few other names like Ari Lax, Jerry Thompson, Owen Turnwald, Brad Nelson. Really fantastic stuff. So I can't help but shout out and recommend something I believe in. And I have enjoyed Star City Games Premium for a long time, as long as they have articles about Standard. I don't follow the modern articles at all. And sometimes there are a lot of them, as the SCG Tour plays a lot of Modern. But around new set time like this, it is all about Standard, and I'm reading like 4 or 5 great articles about Standard every week and getting all kinds of deck lists, and here's one that I'm going to try. The mana base is Sam's mana base with one exception. I cut a Plaza of Harmony and replaced it with a Stomping Ground. I wanted to be very sure that I could play Gates Ablaze on time. Otherwise, I'm trusting in Sam's mana base. I think I would use the 4th Plaza of Harmony if it weren't for deciding whether or not to craft it. You see, I've got 2 rare wild cards sitting right now, and I would like to use them on Gruul Spellbreakers so I can do a Gruul deck for you very soon. That said, it should probably be Plaza of Harmony, but I think this deck can get by. Let's go play some games and see how we do. This hand looks like it could do the job. We can cast Growth Spiral on time. I'm worried about how many lands we'll have, and about taking damage for the Growth Spiral. We're on the draw. If we're against mono red, this hand is likely too slow to do the job. But I think we have to try it. I think just about every hand is too slow on the draw against mono red, when you're thinking about the best draws that they can do, and oh my. Is it a Gate Mirror? We see a Gruul Guild Gate. Okay, maybe not. Maybe it's good old Gruul. I'll pay 2 life, and we'll pass the turn, planning to Growth Spiral at instant speed. There's a District Guide, all right. Paying the 2 life and passing, though, implies that we might have a counter or something like that, and the opponent may make a different play based on that information. They fetch an Izzet Guild Gate, so some kind of a teamer build, perhaps. Here's my Growth Spiral, and this land has to enter the battlefield tapped, so we'll put that down. Alright, so with 4 mana, we could go Growth Spiral again and use Shimmer of Possibility. We could also play our Gatebreaker Ram, which at this point would be a 4/4 Vigilance Trample. I'm tempted to wait on the Gatebreaker Ram until it can be out of Lava Coil range, as that's a key removal spell out of the deck. But at the same time, if there's a Lava Coil, it would eventually hit the Archway Angel anyway. So this is kind of a tough choice. I think I'm instead going to go with Shimmer, Possibility, and Growth Spiral and try to have a bigger Ram. So that's what we're going to do. Shimmer will find Guild Summit, which I think is exactly what I'm looking for here. Gates Ablaze doesn't look necessary because we're not facing a ton of pressure. And I will take 2 damage, planning to Growth Spiral into another land. District Guide swinging in. I expect an Izzet Guildgate. I'm not sure if I'll see something else. I guess we could still be against a gate deck. Our opponent could have a Gatebreaker Ram here, and it would be pumped, but they do pass. We'll Growth Spiral again, putting out the Stomping Ground, tapped, of course. And now that we have a Circuitous Route, we could play that or the Archway Angel. We could also play the Guild Summit and draw some cards. So we're looking at a lot of options, but our opponent's taking a very slow road. I think I like the Guild Summit here. So that's what I'm going to do, tapping our non-gate lands to play Guild Summit and tapping these gates that are in play already to draw 2 cards. And we drew another gate, so we can play that and draw another card from Guild Summit. And this is where things start to get crazy. Circuitous Route draws 2 cards, adds 2 more gates. Our opponent shows they are also the gate deck. So we're out a bit ahead of them. They have a District Guide. They're going to draw some cards themselves. This is going to be quite the showdown. Are you ready for a war? Let's do Plaza of Harmony and gain some life. I'm also going to play Circuitous Route and probably Gatebreaker Ram. Although my opponent's kind of slow hand implies that they very likely have Gates Ablaze themselves. So we need our Ram to outrun Gates Ablaze. So let's see, our opponent has 3 gates, possibly 4, and we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So far so good. Let's get our first real clock onto the battlefield. Our opponent is definitely in range of, if they play a gate here, they can play the 8/8, the Colossus, which is a very scary one to see. And our gate count at 5 wouldn't kill it. There's the Lava Coil, so playing around Lava Coil was right, but double Lava Coil, not much you can do about that. Alright, Shimmer of Possibility with 8 mana. We can lead with Shimmer and then play an Archway Angel if we like. Oh, actually we are missing a white. I didn't fetch a white source earlier. Hopefully we can rectify that. Learning curve. There's a Growth Spiral, another Ram, another Guild Summit, another Shimmer Possibility. I think I keep my opponent on the run since they had to use 2 Lava Coils. I can also Hydroid Crassus for 6, which is excellent. It seems like I'll be able to get my cards going. I actually... this is a pretty tough one. This is a very tough one. God, Guild Summit is so many cards, too. But I think I'll keep presenting threats. My opponent's a bit behind in the Gate Wars, so if I can force them to keep answering me, I think that's right. However, this turn, I'm not going to play the Ram. I'm going to play the Crassus. A 6/6 that gains 3 life and draws 3 cards is pretty hot. And we did find a source for white mana for the angels. And a Rhythm of the Wild to go with the gate action. That's pretty scary. And a Gate Colossus. Oh my. And an 8/8 with haste is pretty big. I'm not going to be blocking. We could use some Colossus of our own, that's for sure. Let's see, gate count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is 6. Let's draw a card and see what we hit. Expansion Explosion. Now, Plaza of Harmony can produce a mana of any color a gate we control can produce, so we did find our white mana. So I really like the idea of playing an Arcway Angel and another Circuitous Root. We could also play an Arcway Angel and another Gatebreaker Ram. I like getting the race going, and gaining all this life is a huge boon to that, as it lets us ignore the Colossus a bit. And also with the flying threat, we can start pressuring our opponent, although they certainly, with some hasty creatures, can put a lot of pressure back on us. Actually, if they can remove the angel and make a hasty threat here, they do have a potentially lethal attack. So going for a Circuitous Route is risky. What does Gates Ablaze kill? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Doesn't kill this yet. So it is it's been a tricky spot. It's a tricky game. Let's go for the Ram. Play it safe. An 8/8 versus an 8/8 here. Open the gates lets the opponent search for a gate. Some people will ask why I don't run this card. I don't think it's necessary. I think that with Circuitous Route being a definite in the deck, it doesn't feel like making this play, which is essentially adding another tap land to your deck in a way for a little bit of selection, because you have to tap a mana to use it. I don't think that that's a good idea. And now here is the Riot 8/8 Flying Gargoyle. This does not have trample though. So the angel can jump in front. The question is, can the opponent afford to attack? Because our counter attack, if we survive the attack, could be lethal between the Ram and the Crassus. So they are also kicking back right now. Let's drop a Guild Gate. Another Gates Ablaze. So our Ram is the biggest thing on the board. We could blow up some kind of a double block. We can also Circuitous Route, draw 2 cards, and then you use Gates Ablaze. And I think it would kill everything but our Ram, which is very exciting. I think we can double Circuitous Route and do that. Another Shimmer, okay. Yep, this still leaves that mana available. It's going to be close to lethal, but not quite. But with an Expansion Explosion. And this is the Gatebreaker Ram's superpower. Ooh, we have a 0 mana Gate Colossus to follow up with. All right. So here is Gates Ablaze, wiping out everything but the Ram. 1 point short, but that Vigilance means we have a Defender, and Gate Colossus means we have another Defender. Behold the power. Growth Spiral adds a card. Open the Gates adds a gate, but they played their... Well, I guess they do get an extra land for the turn, and it gives them an extra draw. They're a long ways from a Gates Ablaze of their own, though, doing the work of getting rid of this Ram. It turns out in the gate mirror, he with the most gates wins. Who would have thunk it? Alright, so what kind of surprise can they have here? Double Act of Treason. That would be terrifying. What other nonsense? All right, well, looks like it's going to be another gargoyle, which isn't quite going to get the job done. It will half our life total. And there's the scoop. A reminder as we head into our next game that the Ravnica box giveaway from Flipside Gaming is still going on. It goes on until January 28th at 11:59 p.m. EST, Eastern Standard Time. Any purchase you make from Flipside Gaming where you buy $10 or more worth of merchandise and use the promo code CGB to save 10% on your order, you will be entered into a giveaway for an entire box of Ravnica Allegiance, an entire booster box of Ravnica Allegiance for somebody from my audience. So make sure you check that out. Rematch? Gate deck rematch? And we're on the draw without a circuitous route to up our gate count. Alrighty. Let's see what happens here. Waiting for the opponent. They'll keep a hand. I'll keep a hand. And we will again attempt to assert dominance in the gatekeeping world. I'm just making sure that I have the mana to go with Growth Spiral if I draw it, if I lead with the Guild Gate. I do because I have the island. Sorry, I have to think about that a little hard. There's a lot of different lands in the deck. And look, I draw the Growth Spiral. I'm just going to get it out of the way now. You can save it for instant speed, but I know what my opponent's up to. They know what I'm up to. It's all about gate count, baby. It's all about who can gate the hardest. There's that District Guide returning. Another card that I could use in my deck that does fetch gates. However, I don't think it's worth it for 3 mana for the 2/2 body. I think that you want lands that you can play off your Growth Spiral instead of using the spots for District Guide. And then the other cards you want are Haymakers. I'm going to take 2 damage here, play out the Guild Summit, and tap one of my gates to draw an extra card, because I think the sooner we get that going, the better. And holy gates ablaze, Batman. There's so many of them. Whoosh, look at that art. I know, my face is in the way. So it's tempting to Shimmer of Possibility and expansion it and just get the cards we need. So I think that's the plan. We're a long way from expansion being super effective. So let's cast 2 Shimmers of Possibility. So first one, we have a Gatebreaker Ram that we could take, or a gate itself. And I don't want to fall behind on my gate count, so I definitely want to gate this turn without question. And we already have a Simic one, so I'll take the Izzet one. Now the second thing we're going to look for, okay, second Guild Summit is probably too much. We already have a Growth Spiral, so now I'll take a Ram. But we want to hit basically every land drop, and get as many gates as we can. A card I definitely wish I had seen is Circuitous Route. A card like that to get you ahead in the gate war, but so far no good, no bueno, did not find. And the opponent is keeping up with us this game, something they could not do last game. We have to remember they have cards like the Gargoyle, and they have Rhythm of the Wilds to give it haste. All right, so I have Growth Spiral, can put another land onto the battlefield, and I have Gatebreaker Ram as a 1, 2, 3, 4, 6/6. Now our opponent's Lava Coil, they double Lava Coiled the first one last time, so let's put it to the test. And I'm also going to Growth Spiral first, just in case it changes my play. So here is a, we'll put this onto the battlefield tapped. We might draw another gate to play instead of playing the Breeding Pool. We don't, but we could play the Colossus right now instead of the Ram, which is more power and toughness. So I'm going with that. Beefcake. So huge. Now, if the opponent has the double lava coil here like they did last game, that's a little upsetting. But make them do it. Okay, Gates Ablaze and Lava Coil, I'm guessing. So, again, we pull 2 removal spells to keep our opponent on the back foot. We draw another Colossus, which we can play with the Ram. I'm a little frustrated that we can't play another Gate, though. So I'd rather, I think, hit the Hydroid Crassus and keep the mana moving. However, this is a really good turn, and our opponent did just use a Gates Ablaze. Alright, I'm going to fall behind on the Gate action. We're going to see if it costs me the game for research purposes, and instead deploy 14 points of power. Seems like a nice trade-off, but it does make me nervous. The Rhythm of the Wild. I feel like when this hits the battlefield, there should be some Gruul music. You know, some Last of the Mohicans, perhaps? Do Gateway Sneak is a 3-mana 1/3 Riot Haste. Whenever a gate enters the battlefield, it can't be blocked. Whenever it deals combat damage to a player, draw a card. Well, it's not unblockable right now, because the gate did not enter the battlefield since it landed, and the opponent says oops. Yep, that's pretty oopsie. And that's the scoopsie. The oopsie to the scoopsie. I seriously had a moment where it's like, do I withdraw that block? Is that too mean? But the opponent with the shame scoop. This hand is on the play. We have Guild Summit and Circuitous Route. We don't have a Gates Ablaze. We could get run over, but we can, in theory, go Guild Summit into Circuitous Route into Arcway Angel, which, if the opponent doesn't, like, turn for us, which red decks very well can do, then we should be good. So I will try keeping this hand. And if our opponent is not a red deck, but instead is another deck to beat red decks, we should definitely be able to have the time we need. From there, Hydroid Crassus can draw a bunch of cards. Guild Summit probably drew a bunch of cards. The power of the Gate deck in these, you know, especially with Guild Summit, this enchantment and this ramp spell can really crush on midrange, which surprised me. I didn't expect Gates to be quite this effective at crushing the various midrange and decks built to combat the red menace. Against control, they still have a hard time because your threats just all must be answered. If they're not answered, the opponent dies so quickly, so they have to have all the right answers. Counter spells, especially things like Syncopate that are very mana efficient, are very good against this deck. And we have Gate to Gate, so let's drop more gates. And the opponent goes straight to Opt. We could have expected that or a Spell Pierce, but probably an Opt. And they keep on top. Perhaps it's Drake's. No, we got some Teamer, Gross Spiral. Alright, this is likely some kind of a Nexus Wilderness Reclamation deck, which we don't have great answers to. And because of that, it is probably best that we race. It is best that we do as much damage as we can, as quickly as we can. Drawing all the cards in the world won't matter. And it is too bad. We're talking about big creatures that run into fog and just get lost in the fog. And our opponent so far with the draw, not a draw, but the draw. So let's pay 2 life for our breeding pool. Let's Circuitous Route for 2 more gates, if, you know, allowed to. Okay, the opponent feels like they must respond with an insight there. Interesting. Let's get the oddball ones, I suppose. Let's see, we've got plenty of blue-green. We want to make sure that we have red. We have plenty of red. We have plenty of blue. So let's get this one and this one. And crash for 6. Now we'll see what the opponent can do with all that mana. Typically here there's like Expansion Explosion is what I've seen these decks building for the most part. And it looks like we get to wait for some maths. Pirate's Pillage. Discards a land, makes some treasure. Opt, all main phase. Gate Colossus off the top. It puts more pressure on. I don't know if that matters. I sort of want to play the Angel just to have my life total a little bit out of range of an Expansion Explosion. And since it doesn't look like I'll have another gate this turn, maybe I am supposed to just search for a gate though. Guild Summit can draw cards, but we don't have Disruption or anything of that nature really. Expansion Explosion can get through a fog, but that's about it. I think I'll attack, and if I hit, I will try to get an Expansion Explosion with the Shimmer of Possibility and draw more cards so I can get more lands on the battlefield. Looks like it's Chemist's Insight, our opponent seeing all the cards. Growth Spiral. Yeah, well, we hit. So it's a tough choice. We could try to shimmer our way into an Expansion Explosion, but I still don't think that we're going to have enough mana. We need 8 mana to do that, right? No, we need 10 to do 6. We're a long ways off from that. However, the opponent with Wilderness Reclamation next turn with Expansion Explosion can deal 1, 2, 3, say they have another land, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. What if they have another Wilderness Reclamation? 1, 2, 3, 4, they put that out. Then they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Alright. Well, with that in mind, I'll play out the Archway Angel just to be out of range and put the opponent in the spot where they must answer our board all the time. Yep, all they can do instead is just Expansion Explosion my Ram and leave me with no good clock and draw a million cards. Either way, we're in a really bad spot. Okay, it's Fight with Fire. So our opponent was... Okay, so they might have been looking for a Fight with Fire combo, and now they're shooting down the Ram. Makes me wonder if I had played the Colossus if I would have been better off. Or if I'd just be dead. I guess we'll have to wait and see. If they did have the Expansion Explosion and I was at 18, we could have been dead that turn. So, it's hard for me to have too much regret about that. Alright. Still bricking on the lands a bit. Let's send over our Archway Angel. Hit. Let's cast Shimmer of Possibility. See what we get. Another Colossus, another land. I do feel like I need my lands more than anything else. It's a very mana-hungry deck after all. Let's put that out tapped and play the Colossus. See if the opponent can find the answer this turn. And now an expansion of our own would kill the opponent. So maybe I should have shimmered for that instead. Yeah, that I think would have been better than playing an 8/8, which is weird but true. Still, the opponent gets one turn here to make it all happen, and they ionize the Colossus. Wow, they run Ionize. So some counter magic out of the deck. Let's see if they can answer the Angel now. and probably draw a million while they're at it. But who knows? I've played this deck. I fizzle with it a lot. Like, it hasn't been that good to me, and this should be a great matchup for the deck, because as you see, most of our deck does not interact with it. Does not interact with it. And a lot of the games I do lose end like this, with a million wilderness reclamations but no payoff. But maybe the opponent has one this time. They didn't tap for mana, which tells me either that was a mistake or they don't have something to do. They're reading Arcway Angel. They're okay. Weird. But I guess they're hoping to draw another Expansion Explosion. It is making me think I should have shimmered to find Expansion Explosion last turn instead of playing the Colossus. Although I guess the Ionize would have countered the Expansion Explosion anyway. They'd still have it in their hand, you see. Still going. Nothing outlasts the Energizer. It keeps going and going and going and going and going. Alright. Well, we can Guild Summit and draw a bunch of cards and try to find it that way. And it probably draws another card because we have a gate. And then we make our opponent kill us, if they can. If that doesn't work, we'll Shimmer and Growth Spiral and try to find Expansion Explosion that way and hope to burn them out if they can't, like, Mega Bast us next turn, but I think they can. Maybe they don't know how their end game works. Another Ionize, wow. All the counter magic, weird. Alright, let's Shimmer up. Nope, not there. So let's grab another one. It's been a weird draw. I'm used to hitting my lands. Yep, it's not there either. I guess I'll grab another Angel. I don't want to shuffle my deck because the cards on the bottom that are not Expansion Explosion, I don't want to shuffle back in. I don't want to Growth Spiral. Not really, without land. Gates Ablaze doesn't do much for me, so I guess it's the Angel. And we'll see if the opponent can finish this off. In case anybody's curious about my opinion on this Wilderness Reclamation 1000-Year Storm Burn Spell Expansion Explosion deck, I don't like it. I think it's much worse than the Bant Fog control deck. I would say it resembles a more honorable deck. Wow, we drew it. All right. I think I'll do it on the end step then, just to make sure I don't give my opponent more storm count. And hopefully they tap mana to do something. Look at the way they're touching their hand. I think they're going to go for something here. So, all right. If I hit end and it just ends, I'll do it on their upkeep. Okay, here it comes. Here's a shock. Storm's coming. Still passing. Here's Lightning Strike. So I'm trying to get my opponent to commit these spells and then on the stack expansion them at the last possible moment when I'm almost dead. They must be going for it. All right, so that's going to be 3. So their last card. All right, with that on the stack, my opponent can respond and I still die. So I need them to make the last move. Oh, they didn't do it. Oh, they were tapped out of red. I probably should have gone for it then. If they have another lightning bolt right here, I lose because they tapped out of red and I didn't see it. I should have done it on my end step. I should have done it when they were tapped out of red. Oh my gosh. Let's see if I'm punished. If they have another lightning strike, I'm dead. But the opponent's just sitting there. They're just sitting there. Do they have it? Am I punished? Am I punished? Oh my god, I threw it. Good game. Yeah, oops. Good game though. Oh, I goofed up. We both kind of goofed up. My opponent went for it without enough red, and then I didn't do it at the right time. Still, that was pretty wild. And there's nothing on the line. This is casual play, so I can smile about it. It's all good. You can learn from my mistakes. Let's just put it that way. You guys can do better. I could have also, if I suspected that lightning strike, the last one, I could have waited and let the opponent lightning strike me, and I could have copied it with expansion, and I would have won. So silly. I played that so bad. I played that stack so bad. What was the matter with me? You can play the game for so many years. You can try to take pride in your play and get better. You can still mess up. What on earth was I thinking? Wow. I will keep this hand. It looks really fun. Shimmer into Summit into Root. On the play. Seems really good. Watery Grave. All right. Let's see what we find. A Gatebreaker Ram, an Expansion Explosion, 2 more gates. I guess an expansion might be good against a Watery Grave type deck, just to be able to copy a counter spell sometime in the future. But it's not good right now because I don't have that many lands, and I don't want to leave mana up anyway. I'm kind of this tap out deck. This dies to Ritual Soot like many other things. It could be said that I should just take a land, but I think I will take the expansion. I think it has the highest upside. And no Thought Erasure. That is nice. Do I pay 2 life and go for a Summit now? Into open mana? I think I do. They would have to specifically have Negate or Syncopate or that new Quench spell. And an enchantment on the battlefield is so hard for a blue-black deck to deal with that I'm going to do it. And it's hard for decks to even play like Negate, Syncopate these days because the red decks just, like, they'll just smash you with their little creatures. So these decks are full of Moment of Craving and things like that. Cast Down. Makes it even more likely that you can resolve a card like this. Here's Disinformation Campaign. I'm going to get rid of the Arcway Angel. So I think that that's a card I won't need very much of here. And let's start drawing those cards with the Guild Summit. Ooh, Growth Spiral. Let's do it now while the opponent's tapped low. Put this into play. Draw another card. Get it cooking. Double Plaza of Harmony. A little bit of life gain. And it looks like we're against Grixis. I'm really curious about this matchup. They should have plenty of good removal, but can they handle just the raw amount of output of the Gate deck? Just the amount of stuff that the Gate deck throws on the battlefield. Let's play this. Let's tap it, and let's tap our non-Gate lands and go for Summit number 2. If the opponent goes to counter it, Expansion Explosion can make sure it resolves anyway. There's the Sabotage. That's expansion on the Sabotage, targeting the Sabotage. And another gate off the top. I'm about to draw a card. Is drawing another gate what we want? It draws 2 cards next turn, so yes. Yes, I would love another gate. Besides, a good spell in my hand that might get Thought Erasured. Whereas another gate can't get Thought Erasured. So now the opponent has double Guild Summit to overcome. Let's see how they can do it. They have a Search for Iskanta. Seems like a slow, fair value card in the face of Guild Summit, which is pretty wild to say about Search for Iskanta. I really want to resolve a Circuitous Route. I'm going to, let's see, we have a Shimmer. We can go for that first if we want to. But we could also Circuitous Route into a Gate Colossus. I'm going to start by drawing 2 cards. See if that changes anything. We have a Ram. Colossus is 4. I'm going to go for the root. It will probably be countered, and I want blue mana open. The Plaza does produce blue mana, so that's good. If I'm going to get something countered, the root seems like a fine thing. Opponent gets back the campaign. We'll play the Shimmer. See what we find. Lots of land. Okie dokes. Disinformation campaign. One of my recent comments said that I smacked my lips and it annoyed them. I didn't know what they talked about, and I even watched some of my videos looking for it and I couldn't find it, and I think I just caught myself doing it. So hence the silence as I reflect on my life, my choices, what's led me to be a lip smacker. Other Plaza of Harmony can go. Remember, it is not a gate itself. Therefore, it doesn't draw cards with Guild Summit. Another Guild Summit, my god. But this is a good turn to deploy some creatures. Here comes this, and here comes that. Roar! The opponent won't have a lot of time to attack my hand if they have to deal with the board. That's my reasoning for being able to resolve a Guild Summit and just refuel if the opponent spends their mana dealing with our giant monsters. Opponent considering their top card, they have 3 cards in the graveyard. There's still some room before his Kanta flips. And they keep the top card. Let's see if they still have a land. They do. Something is being targeted. Maybe. Cast down Vraska's Contempt. Discovery. Ignoring these to do discovery and disinformation stuff would be weird. Very weird indeed. Opponent looking at the Colossus is like, yep, still big. Eldest Reborn. I'm going to sacrifice the Ram. Well, I can get the Colossus back if I draw a gate. That's the weird part. But Ritual of Soot takes out the Ram. The opponent just binned one. Implies like they have another. This is pretty tough. Maybe I do pick the Colossus just because I can get another, but I'm about to draw so many cards. Gate count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It doesn't. This is far from free. And we would have to draw another gate to get it back anyway. Tough choice. Tough choice. What would you have done? What would you have done, viewer? All right. Guild Summit, draw like a million. I definitely want to play a gate, though, if I'm going to play land, so I'll play this one first and see what 2 cards I see. I know it's giving up 1 card. Oh, 2 mana Gatekeeper Colossus. So good. 2 mana Gate Colossus. Let's go for blue, and you. Play you. Let's draw 3 more. All right, let's play another Colossus. Swing it in for a whopping 8 points of damage. Holy cow. All right, Grixis, what can you do to me? I think that discarding here is another Growth Spiral. That or the Circuitous Route. But the Route has such a high upside. Growth Spiral is always a card. Root right now is 6 cards. Field of Ruin coming down. What are you gonna do? How does Grixis deal with enchantments? It's always been the challenge, and now there are so many good enchantments. It just doesn't seem... It seems unreal to ask Grixis to keep up with this kind of a beating. Second Eldest Reborn. Gatekeeper Colossus goes away. Will the opponent chump block? I imagine they will. Do I want to put the Colossus on top of my deck? I imagine I do. The opponent doesn't have anything good to get back, so the Colossus is the largest thing. So when I look at this, 1, 2, let's see, we have 6 gates. So if I draw Gates Ablaze going to 7, I win the game, because I think I can Gates Ablaze and then expansion for 2. Yes, I can. So let's see if we can draw a Gates Ablaze. 1, 2, 3. Okay, do I want to put this on top of my deck? We did not draw the Gates Ablaze. I can still expansion my opponent for 2. Oh, maybe I don't want the Nicole Bolas dead. Maybe that's what they get back with Eldest Reborn, which when you minus it can do 10 to any target. So I'm going to put the Colossus back on top. And I think I'll Hydroid Crassus for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Rather than do a gate Colossus for 1. Maybe I should have also done a Colossus for 1. But I don't want to attack. I want to make my opponent get back my Ram. If they have to get back my Ram with their Eldest Reborn, I think that's a lot better. Or an Arcway Angel. Yeah, I could have deployed my Colossi, or at least one of them last turn, instead of having a 7/7. So a little bit of regret. Alright, I don't think you have a gate though. Yeah. So my discard. I'll drop off the Plaza. I don't think it's that important. So now if they want, they can flip the Bolas. There's nothing to get back, really. They can just shoot down one of my creatures.
Kneel before your God.
So what do you do? Surely you have to remove something. Okay, there's campaign. Let's drop off a root. Again, we're going to be in a spot where hopefully I can shimmer to a Gates Ablaze and let's see, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, then 1, 2, 3, 1. If I have an untapped land as well, I can win the game.
Kneel before me.
I will admit I've played the games not my best. I am very aware of it. You do not have to tell me in comments, although I'm sure you will. Let's start with drawing the cards. See what we find. All the Colossus. The Gates Ablaze is here. So we can definitely get the opponent to 2. But we have 8 gates, so we can kill our own Colossus now. So no real point to that. I could take out the Angel and either put my opponent on 2 or kill their Bolas, but then they get it back again. Right now they don't have good ways to get it back, so I think I let it sit. So I'll take this crazy line of just do ridiculous things. And just make the opponent deal with everything. And I mean everything I can. As well as having a huge explosion on the back end eventually. Alright. Hiya! Would you like to take 8? Probably not. So, these colors don't... I guess Star of Extinction is the thing you would need right here, right now. It's so much damage. The opponent's going to draw 2. Do they have a Star of Extinction in their deck? There's a Ritual set for the Rams. Alright, you got rid of that. What else can you kill? And Grixis is supposed to be the kill colors, plus we have an expansion for 10 coming up, or explosion I should say. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So if the opponent deals with all that, we're still going to try to burn their face off. Bolus. Sure. The opponent fighting the good fight, as a Grixis deck does. And they still have some mana open. Untapped land, so expansion, explosion is lethal if we go for it. And here come the 8/8s. Game over, man. Too much power. I hope that you enjoyed this video. I certainly did. I played, I would say, in my bottom 10%. Not that well. There's actually a lot more decisions to the Gate deck than I expected, and even some that should have come naturally to me were very awkward, and I'm not sure why. Maybe it's the casual nature I've always had with Gates since they were first introduced in the very first Ravnica. But this deck has something to it. It has a lot of power, it has a lot of decisions, and I think you should play it because it's very, very fun. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. My YouTube channel is proudly supported by HauntedFlower.com, shipping officially licensed apparel anywhere in the world, and now featuring Magic the Gathering apparel and accessories. If you use the promo code CGB at your checkout, you can save 10% on any order. That's the promo code CGB at checkout on HauntedFlower.com. That's HauntedFlower.com.